Hi, my name is Jashwita. I am going to present a paper on software history under the lens, a study on why and how developer examine it. It was written by Mihai, Shruti, Danny, and Whyand. Let's get started with authors and journal. Mihai has a H-index of 6, Danny has a H-index of 41, and Whyand has a H-index of 44. There is another author named Shruti. I did not found her H-index. The paper was published in Proceedings of International Conference on Software Maintenance and Evaluation in Germany, and this paper was cited in 58 articles. Here are some research questions. Why do developers examine software history? And how do developers use software history? And what help developers and what do they wish for? What challenges do developers face when examining history? Authors found a knowledge gap between why developers need software history and how to examine history. So, this is the primary motivations, and they have developed a methodology. The methodology include conducting interviews and supplementing the results with the survey. Interviews are semi-structured with open-end questions. They interviewed 14 developers from 11 different companies who is having maximum experience of 13 years. They conducted open coding methodologies but refined with 10 interviews by addition and deletion of the code. Previous interviews was recoded using improved code, and these are grouped to form large themes, and these themes are used further in the interviews. Survey was conducted to quantify the result of the interviews. It consists of 16 questions. To get the response, they have advertised it on social media, and there were 217 survey responses. Among them, 84% are from industry, and 80 of them are from the software developers who has more than 5 years of experience. By interviews and survey, they found the motivation for examining history. Motivations for recent history is to check what's going on and cope up with the changes which others make, and to check the process of the software, where it started and where it's going. And for the motivation for checking the old history is to understand the evaluation of the project and to check the effect of the code for each change. And here is the survey results where they check the old data during debugging, and when they check the recent data when they want to keep up to the changes. And the other one is age independent motivations. They check both old and recent histories. And debugging, developer makes errors while changing code. If they introduce a bug which change behavior of their examining history, they apply change of impact on comment to learn what high level module affect to manage development. The results were difficult. Interview people told that they apply this for the recent history, and the survey results told them they use this for old and recent history. Selective compose changes is used to retrieve specific commands by applying commits from one branch to another to recover code or to bug fix. They uses different strategies to find the history. Like first one is finding specific commands, changing awareness information, save points for backlog. Let's get started with finding specific commands. For finding specific comments, they use different strategies for in each step. They will first reduce commit space based on current task and skim to find interesting comments, and then understand comments text. And in save points, they use history to find good comments to revert, and they use trial and error method while developing, and they use study stream of good comments by backtracking, which gives them a detailed account of strategies. This is the survey of the strategies under comments. Next, we talk about changes awareness information. They have many strategies, but they don't use top strategies to keep up to the changes. Face to face was top choice. Here are the strategies they used in the survey, and they found that face to face communication has the higher is the higher choice. Developer face challenges while examining history like information overload because history is clustered and unstructured. This affects both committed and uncommitted changes. In knowledge fragmentation, they find history code, trace history to requirement, and has to access the impact of the changes. Even understanding history is a challenge because even the popular strategies they need comments to understand. They also have challenges with the tools like visualizing the history when they are comparing multiple parts of history, and usability, and change notification with all notification instead of specific changes. And to overcome these challenges, the survey and interview people came up with some type of solutions like grouping up the comments or filtering and using good software modularity, and by um, practicing the following the rules of the writing comments. So here are the top challenges where users feel that examining history, and these are the wishes they have so they can easily see the history. Based on age of changes, developers will have different needs of history to focus. So they propose three lens models: immediate lens, awareness lens, and archaeology lens. Immediate lens are proposed to overcome the challenges of information overload and to keep track on the uncommitted changes and group related changes, and allow the developers to refine group changes rate. And 25% of survey results wish to for this support. And awareness lens was proposed to overcome challenges to keep track changes of developers up to date with recent and maintain metal model. 20% of the survey results wish to receive notification if any piece of code of interest is changed during survey. Archaeology lens are introduced to overcome challenges of the code because the code moves from file to file, like in GitHub we can move from one repository to another repository, and integrated development environment software will show all the past changes in the context and in rational of border change part or surrounding code of that time. They used old and recent history threshold for this methodology. If they change the threshold, then the results would be better. And it requires a further research with different models. And the survey response was self-biased because they were advertising and they are reliable. And conclusion was developers gain knowledge by seeing the history. The survey results showed that 60% of developers check history several times a day. Developers will have different motives. They also use different strategies to skim different parts of the history. Software tools are not supporting the needs of the developers. In future work, they want us to focus on improve the individual lens, and if or by transaction or interaction of this lens also we can develop. And we have to develop a software which is useful for the developers to make the changes easily and to apply the strategies properly. So this is the reference of the paper which I am presenting. Thank you.